Get ready to level up your application security. In this tutorial, I will show you how to implement Firebase authentication features, including login with Google, register with email and password, and login with email and password. With Firebase user-friendly interface, adding authentication into your application has never been easier. By the end of this video, you will have the tools you'll need to seamlessly implement these features into your own project. Now let's dive into the code. Okay, from the last video, we forgot to add in the login and register button. So I have added these global styles in here. So you'll have your BTN styles and the BTN fold styles. So I'll just quickly add that before we continue with this auth implementation. Right, so I'll go to the login screen over here and just under this I'll add in like a button, and the button will use this class which is btn and btn fill, and I'll just have this login here, and then in my registration page I'll do the same thing. So this will just go here and this will be just to register. Okay, yeah, so for you, okay, now we're done with adding those buttons. So for you to like implement this Firebase, you'll first need to install this npm package. So you'll have this npm install Firebase and AngularFire, but I've done that already. So then the next thing is you'll need to set up your Firebase project, right? So you'll create your Firebase project, which is what I've already done for you, right? And then over here, you'll have to then come to your project settings, which will then bring you into this page. And then you'll come here on this like icon over here, this web icon. You'll add in like the name of your project, which is going to be thumbnail, maybe rate. I'll like change this so it doesn't matter if I show you my API keys and stuff like that. So you register the app. This will tell you need to install your Firebase into your project and this, that. And I'll just continue, right? And then what you'll need is you'll need to just copy this, right? Which is your Firebase config, right? So you'll copy this into your environment. Right, so into your environment, you'll have your Firebase config over here. So you'll like basically have the same thing for your prod, right? But obviously, your prod would probably like maybe reference your production Firebase configs, right? So that you're not using the same database for your production and for your dev environment, right? Okay, then you'll have that over here. Okay, once that's done, we'll then come over here and actually try to like import, right, our Firebase modules, right? So over here you'll have your AngularFire module, right? This is coming from Angular. So this is AngularFire. I think that's compact, right? And then we'll have like our AngularFire Auth module, right? AngularFire Auth module, and that's coming from the compact auth, right? And then over here we'll then import that. And to say, so we'll first import our AngularFire module, then initialize our app, then we'll just pass in our configuration over here, and then the next thing here we'll need our AngularFire auth. So once we've imported both those, right, now we are able to use our AngularFire auth. Okay, so another thing that we'll need to do is we'll cd out, and then we'll just cd into our services, right? Cd into our services. So what did I do wrong? So cd into our services. Okay, yeah. and then we'll just generate a service which is going to be for our auth service, right? So this is where we'll put in like our authentication logic over here. So we'll wait for that to finish up. Okay, once that's done, we'll just cd out, and then we'd want to create like our home page that we're gonna land on once we've actually logged in, right? So we'll say generate, okay, no, we'll cd into pages, and then we'll just say ng generate component, and this component will be called our home, right? Because this is responsible for our home page. Okay, now let me save this whilst I still wait for that to actually generate. This might take a bit of some time. I don't know why it's this slow, but anyways, I think that's done. All right, so now let's go about implementing our auth, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. So the first thing that we'll need to do is actually let's see. So over here, we'll wanna import our auth, our Firebase auth. So this is coming from AngularFire auth, right? That's what we need. And then here we'll implement our sign in with Google, right? So this will return from this dot afs dot sign in with sign in with pop-up. Yeah, this is using the sign in with pop-up, but this needs like a provider, so we'll pass in our Google Auth provider, right? So this will import our Google Auth provider, and then this is what we're gonna pass into here. And then yeah, we're calling the signing with pop-up, and this returns like a promise, right? So this returns like a promise. Then we know that in order for us to like get the data and stuff, we'll do the then and then catch if there's any exceptions, right? So, and then another thing that we want to do is say register with email and password, right? So this will take our object which has our email and password. So what we'll need for there is actually say, okay, over here we'll have our user, right? Okay, and then we're gonna try to destructure that and say, okay, this is gonna take in an email and password. So we'll destructure this object, and we only want the email and password from that. And then we'll just say return this dot afs dot create user with email and password. So here we'll say user dot email, no, user dot email, then user dot password. Alrighty, so that's, yeah, that's okay. And then we'll just do the same thing with signing with email and password, right? Wanna get this video as quick as possible. Okay, I wanna make it short. I mean to say, okay. Then over here we'll just say sign in, and okay, no man, let me just, no, see when you just try to, okay, sign in with email and password, right? And then over here just remove this, and then this also returns like a promise. So with the promise over there, okay, now we'll just say ng-serve. Okay, let's wait and for the moment of truth. Okay, whilst we wait for that, right, I just want to quickly go through this with you, right? So we know that we have these, we've already set up all this, your application and stuff. And then over here, we also have what? Okay, in our authentication, right? So in authentication over here, or you can just come to build authentication. You go to settings. You also want to go to authorized domains, right? Let's say you actually hosting this site from like maybe another like host server, right? And your actual domain, or yeah, your actual domain for URL, the application's URL is something else, right? Maybe from Google, you're hosting from Google or something. You can actually add your domain over here so that it can authorize that domain so that you can actually use the Google pop-up and stuff. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Okay, this is done. Okay, so now what we would like to do over here is actually implement our sign in, right? Over here. So what do we want to do? Over here we want to say on click, right? We'll call in our login with Google. So we'll call in our login with Google over here. And with our login with Google, okay, we first have to inject our auth service, which is coming from our auth service, right? So this dot auth service dot sign in with Google, right? And then we'll say then, right? This will give us like a response. We'll do an error function, then we'll just catch any error that we get. Alright, then we'll just say console.error. This will give our error, right? Then if that's successful, we'll just try to redirect to our home screen. Yeah, let's just redirect to our home screen. I don't want to log anything. So we'll have our router over here, and then we'll just say router, right? And then we'll just say router dot navigate by URL, and this should like route us to our home page, right? There. Okay, here it didn't do, did something wrong. Alrighty, so now let's go to our apps route and actually add a route to our actual home page, right? So how we'll add a route, we'll say the path is home, alright, and this will point to our home component. That's the only thing we need over there. Okay, let's open up our app so that we see if it actually runs. Local host 4200. All right, so we can just open this console over here and actually see if things work. So okay, if we click that button, it doesn't work. Okay, we actually linked this to the wrong thing, right? So we'll need to remove this over here and actually add it here, right? Because when we click that, we want that to open up. Okay, so now that we clicked our actual login with Google, this pops this up, and then I'm just gonna choose this email. Nice. Now people are going to see my emails. Okay, yeah, that worked. So once it's successfully logged you in, right, it'll route you to the home page, right? But since we haven't built our home page, we just want to display a screen that's going to show that our actual home page is under construction, all right? So how we go about doing that is over here, we'll have maybe our home container, and then we'll have our home, we'll have our construction, we'll have our construction container. Okay, so we're not gonna display it in an image, right? Because we have like a GIF, right, that we want to display, right? Reason why we don't want to display it in an image is so that like it's not easily people can't just download it easily, right? Unless you go to the inspection and do all those finicky stuff, then you can get our actual GIF. Otherwise, you can't. So I'm just gonna copy these classes right over here, and then what I actually want to do is set the I meant to say width to 100, and the height to 100%. The same thing will apply over here. Width will be 100%, and the height would be 100%, and then the background image, right, would be this URL, and then this will come from our actual assets, right? Assets, image, and then let me actually do this first, right? So it's easier to actually get assets, image, and then under construction GIF, then I'll just remove this SRC. Alrighty, so yeah, that's what we need. And then we'll need to say background repeat, no repeat, right? And then we want to say background position, we want to center it. And let's see, moment of truth. No, that's not right. Okay, yeah. Now this is right. Okay, so once it logs in, so let's try it again. Alrighty. So this person, once they try to log in with Google, it'll then send them to the homepage. Okay, right. So that's fine. So another thing that we'd want to implement over here is the login. So login with email and password. Alrighty. So with the login with email and password, that's what we're gonna need to implement on click on this button, right? Once we click this button, then we wanna call this method. Alrighty, so what we'll do over there is auth service, and then we'll say this is the sign in, right? I said sign in with email and password, and then this will pretty much do the same thing we did over here. Okay, but now we need to get the user, maybe user data, whatever it is, right? So how we'll do that over here is so we see here in our login form we have our username and password, but our actual auth takes in an email and password, right? So if we had like email and password over here, then it would be easier for us to actually use that, right? um if we had our email and password, sorry, so if we had email and password, we'll just use login form dot value, and then that will give us our JSON object for the two, right? So let me see real quick. So over here we say email. Okay, yeah. But now, okay, let me just make a quick demo of what I actually mean, right? So let me just console log, right? I don't know why. Actually, I always get excited when I explain stuff. So say now I added this at gmail.com, and then the password was this gibberish stuff. Right, let me clear the console. So if I clicked login, this will give me a JSON of the username and password, right? But now I know that we need an email, right? So I'll just append that to our actual object, right? So how we'll do it is say const user data, right? And then I'll just say object dot assign, right? The login form dot value, but I also want to add in like an email instead of that password. Email instead of that username, right? So the email, I'll get it from value.email. No, username. So now if I console.log user data, so if I console log the user data, now you'll see what I'll have. So if I've got this stuff, you'll see what I have over there, right? I'll also have like my email, so that's actually fine. So now uncomment this out, no, and then copy this, paste it over here, and now we can actually test our login with email and password. Now it shouldn't work because we don't have a registered user that used an email and password, right? Oh, so we are, but let's actually test it out. This should actually give me like an error. Okay, if I just use this dot password one. Okay, that's wrong over there, right? That's why it's giving me this error. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let me put in like a bit of some styling, right, to that button, like margin top. So dot btn. So I'll just put in a margin top of like padding 20 pixels. That should be fine. And yeah, so let me come here and actually do the same, right? So I'll say btn, and then I'll add in like a margin top of like padding 20 pixels. Alrighty, that's fine over there, right? And then we'll pretty much do the same thing for the implementation of register with email and password, right? So let's come right here, copy this functionality, right? Go to our actual registration TS file. So over here, we'll just have a register with email and password, and then we'll just do this. Right, so that would like initially do the same thing that we had over there. So over here we'll just inject our auth service, which is auth service, and then we'll just also use our router over here, which is gonna be our router. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll be getting this from our data and actually route to the home page once this thing is actually all good, right? Another thing that I've left out from the previous video was actually here, right? You'll actually see this, right? So now let's go to sign up. Look at this. This says phone number is required, whereas this input hasn't been touched, nor have I entered anything, right? But it sees as invalid. This is because over here, it's using the wrong form control name, right? So I was supposed to use phone number here. So now once I use that, say now this is incorrect, then it wouldn't affect this, right? So let me now try to register someone, and then this would be nope. Oh, this doesn't matter because I haven't even added like a pattern that just in case you know that's not my phone number. So my password would be maybe password 123, not secure. I know that's not secure, but anyways, that's fine. So what's another thing that I would wanna do? I think this is all good. Then once I register that, let's see, moment of truth. Oh, okay, that didn't do anything. So the reason why it didn't do anything is because I'm not actually calling the method once I click that button, that register button. So over here, I'd want to say click that. Okay, then another extra thing that I'd want to do is say disable. Disabled. This should be disabled once the register form is invalid. So once that form is actually invalid, I want to disable that. Okay, even here, let's see. So how do we actually do this? Okay, so we'll go to our actual login, and then we'll say login form. This should be disabled once that's okay. Oh yeah. Okay, that's fine. Now let's actually see, right? Okay, that is disabled. So now we want to like visually show that. So we'll come here to our global styles and say once our button is disabled, right? We just want to make the background color. So the background, and then we'll use RGBA, and then we'll just say maybe black, and then 0.4 opacity. So let's see. Yeah, so now you can actually see that that button is actually disabled. So now my username over here will be at gmail.com. Then my phone number doesn't actually matter because I don't have like a regex expression that's gonna validate how my phone number should look like. Okay. Okay, password one. Yes, password one. So now what's wrong? Okay. Let's go to our register button and actually see what's actually wrong, right? So this is required. This is that. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I think I know what the issue is, and the issue should be no. This is from this, right? So let's see. Oh, confirmed. We're doing the same old mistake. Alrighty. So let's see. So let's see. Once you say hide, and that's using the same. Isn't that nice? So we need to be using this instead of that other one. Okay, that's no. Yeah, I think that's all good. Yeah. So now let's test it out. Dot. Okay, this, and then this is password 123, password 123, right? Okay, but now we need to add like some more stuff, right? And we want to say if these are equal and register register form get right password dot value. Okay. So here we need to have a confirm password, right? If they're not equal. So if it's invalid, right? This is disabled if this is invalid or the passwords are not equal. I think that's how I should do it. Okay, now let's see. Com. So now let's see. Say password 1, password 1. Okay. All right. Okay, that works, right? So if I try to view both of them, they're all saying password 1, 2, 3, 2. That wouldn't be 1, 2, 3. Okay, all right. Okay, that's fine. So if I register this, let's see. Moment of truth. The user, there is no user of this record. Let's see. Let's go to my authentication and actually see this. Right. Okay, my sign-in methods are both that. Oh, sorry, my bad. My bad here, over here. Actually, you see this copy and paste is not actually good. So I should be using the register with email and password, right? In register, I should be using register with email and password and actually passing in this instead of the sign in with email and password. Sorry, my bad. Alrighty, so what I'll then want to do over here is actually, this video is going too long. Okay, I wanted it to be short, but it's actually fine. Okay, my number is gonna be this, and then my password is gonna be password 1, password 1. Okay, righty. So now let's register this user. Oh yeah, so the register shouldn't actually sign me in, right? It should actually send me to the login screen. What did I do wrong? So register, once I've registered, I should go to the login, and then the login page should actually, that's where I should actually do the register, the actual login, right? So let's go back, right? So let's try this out. So let's come here, the auth authentication users. I'll just delete this user. So I'll just say delete this user over there and actually try to register again. Okay, dot. Okay, right. Let's go. Okay, so now this redirected me to the login page. So now I can use that. So I'm not trying to log in with that. So I use password 1. Okay. Alrighty, so now we know that both of those stuff work. So the login and registration works. So login with Google works, register with Google, register with email and password works, and the sign in with email and password works. So if you're new to the channel and you liked this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, peace.